dance to it?
Whoa.
It's not even dancing. It's like running in place. Honestly.
And then go like this.
I'm not doing that.
Welcome to First Impressions. That was just Late Cambrian, their song Walk of Shame. We're going to put the information right over here for you so you can check them out. They're doing this whole pledge thing where we can give them money and they give us awesome prizes so they could do their next album and go on tour in Europe with Weedus, right?
Yep, and they're amazing, so definitely check them out, definitely listen to their music. Again, the song we just were listening to was Walk of Shame, but their entire album is really great, so give it a listen.
Yeah, so with First Impressions, we're going to give you our initial thoughts on comics, movies, TV shows, video games, or whatever we want. But this week, we're going to give you our first impressions of comics July 9th, 2014. And Jason's going to tell you about our rating system.
All right, so we rate out of a 5-star system. That's 2 stars for artwork, 2 stars... you can't count. 2 stars for writing, and 1 very special star in case we think it just deserves an extra one. It's the magic star.
Magic Star.
Magic Star. So let's see what we got this week.
This week, we have American Vampire, second cycle, number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah, number 4. We are not caught up, so we didn't read it. I didn't read it. Right?
Apparently,
and we
since
bought
I
it
didn't even know
blind.
what
It was a blind book that we bought. And here we have Batman Eternal number 14. Let's see. Well, art's great. It's Jaysen Fabok. How do you say his name? Fabok! Fabok?
Fabok, I bet.
Fabok?
Who knows? Okay.
Oh, sorry.
You know,
Jason.
I was not a huge fan of the artwork.
Well, I think his stuff is pretty smooth normally. And
it wasn't
nice.
necessarily bad. What drives me crazy about this
awesome.
book is everyone is drawn very normally, except for Penguin, who is drawn like such a caricature. Like everyone looks pretty realistic, and then you see Penguin, he's got a nose out to like freaking
really
here, and his head
ugly.
is huge, and like I don't understand.
Ugly and not necessarily scary.
He doesn't look like a person that could exist in a world with these other people with how they look. So I was a little confused.
Aw, he's got deformities.
Yeah, but otherwise, story was
Cool
fun.
cover.
It progressed the story pretty nicely. I really like the idea that Gordon is going to be in the prison as kind of a mole for Batman. I think that was really well played out. I didn't see it coming. I think that's great. I'm glad that we got Falcone finally caught because I'm tired of hearing about him running around the city.
Yeah, I thought it was actually so cool how they kind of wrapped that up really quickly. It wasn't like, I thought it was going to be like drawn out for like the whole series, but they wrapped it up and I thought, oh, that's nice. The pacing is fast. That's still good.
Yeah.
And I like Bard.
Oh yeah, I love that scene where him and Batman are like, we're gonna have to figure out how to get along, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
then he was kind of,
awesome.
but then there was this whole slight morality difference between the two of them, and I thought, oh, well, that's kind of interesting
that's
too.
fun.
And one thing I thought I questioned is, the AC is on. Is
that the question?
No, but I was surprised when he was talking to the mayor, and then he was kind of like blackmailing him, or a little bit, but that he's not afraid of the mayor at all. Couldn't the mayor just like get him fired?
Probably.
I mean, though, he's blackmailing him, but still, he seems so, I don't know, maybe he seems so self-righteous, he feels totally empowered and that he won't get his, self fired.
Right.
And then I started to wonder, what if Bard all along is the mastermind for all of this? Like when he's talking to Mom on the phone, maybe that's not really Mom, and who Mom really is James Gordon Jr.
Oh, that'd be good. So what'd you give it?
I don't know. I gave it a 4.
All right, I gave it a 3. This week didn't blow me away as far as the artwork went, but I felt that the story was pretty solid, so give it a 3.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Cool. Next up,
Grayson number 1.
All right, I really, really have to say I liked this book a lot.
Oh,
I love the cover. I love the artwork. I mean, I knew I'd like the artwork because I liked this guy's work on Justice League Dark. I like the story. I'm a huge Dick Grayson fan, so seeing him get put into a completely different story, I thought it played out really well. Like I said, I just really liked it. What'd you think?
Well, I first question, why Spiral? Why another spy agency? They already have like Argus and Checkmate and Shade and who knows what else.
To be fair, that guy's
right?
face was spiraling.
Yeah,
what else are they going to cover?
Okay, so it's like, okay, fine. This one seems pretty cool too, but yet again, another one. I love that Helena Bertinelli, is that how you say her name?
I think so, yeah.
Huntress is in it, and she looks really good in it.
Mm-hmm.
And Midnighter was
Yeah.
in it. What
Yeah.
was he doing in there? What is that? Why is he there? Is he part of some other organization that would care about that? That was kind of interesting why he was there.
Yeah, definitely.
I give it 3 stars.
I give it a 4. Really liked it.
The next one is Death Vigil #1 by, I'm going to say his name wrong.
Steven
It's
Sejic?
I mean, is the J silent? Is that why?
Sejic? We don't know how to pronounce your name, but I want to say that I loved your book.
It's like STJ.
Yeah.
Stepan.
This book for me was a total surprise. This is not something that was anything on my radar. Carl picked it up. Carl picked it up, and I loved it.
Impulse.
I loved the artwork. I loved the story. I loved the characters. It was such a great introduction. It felt like a television pilot. Everything about it was great. I cannot wait to see what happens next. I cannot wait to get to know more about this world. I love stuff that deals with this kind of mythology, like death and Virgil and all these different characters that are normally like angels and demons, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I gave it a 5-star.
Wow,
What do you
good.
think?
I totally thought it was fun that they play with this whole life and death trope stuff, and because we've been talking about life and death a lot in the past in our vlogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was awesome and lots of fun. And, I noticed that his art is a little bit different than what he normally does for Top Cow. It actually looks a little less than what he normally does, but that doesn't mean it was less. It was still really, really good. And, yeah, Jason's right. The storytelling is great. And I love how they introduce the characters in a really kind of roundabout way. The character that they put up front in the beginning, and then you see him like 12 years later, and then you're getting introduced to this other character that you didn't realize was another, major character at all.
Yep.
And so I thought it was really great too, and I give it a 5 as well.
Oh,
definitely
awesome.
Deserved. Great book.
All right, next up.
Forever People, Infinity Man and the Forever People #2. Jason, I don't think he read this. And
I did not
the
read
art
this.
is better this time around. It's with Grummett. What's his face? Oh God, what's his first name? Tom Grummett. I don't know. It's still fun in that, I don't know, I guess Kirby-esque fun way, whatever you want to call it, but it was not that great for me. Even though, like, I wanted to see Infinity Man on, come on, but then I remembered in Young Justice cartoon how they came about, how they came together and became Infinity Man, and this was the same idea, and I don't know, there's some intriguing things, but it's just not strong enough for me, and I only gave it 2 stars. And I thought it was weird because like they had such American Earth vernacular when they were like, they say things like road trip and hey, are you gonna get takeout? And I thought, is it because they've been studying Earth and so they're adapting the language, or is
it just bad?
Well, no. Is New Genesis basically like Earth? I mean, are they human? Because they then refer to themselves as aliens. They are so not alien, but they're humanoid. So maybe they're just humanoid aliens. I don't know. I gave them 2 stars.
2 stars. Wow. All right, Justice League United.
2, 3.
What is
3.
this? 3. I've been really touting this book and talking about how much I loved it, and this week for me was a little bit on the slow side. I still liked it. I still like the artwork, but for me this week didn't really add much to what was going on. The only scene I really liked was when Martian Manhunter kind of goes inside the kid's head and is like, "I can help you."
Yeah,
I really thought that was great, but the rest of it, I was like, eh.
Well, surprisingly for me, it was the best one out of the 4 that had been released already. I didn't really care for the cover. I thought, do I really want to read this anymore? I kind of just buy it blindly to read because I want to, but I actually enjoyed this more than the past 3 issues, and part of it is I don't know. It was just more enjoyable. Like you said, I really like that Martian Manhunter thing with Ultra, the baby boy. That was really nice and touching. I love the surprise ending. It's kind of different, and I liked how they did the Zeta Beam, whatever, with Alana and Doctor Strange, where it was working. I don't know why that adds something to me. I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if that was permanent? That's why they could never be together, because they keep switching places. That'd be interesting, right?
Yeah.
But some things I thought was kind of weird was when Doctor Strange was like, where'd Alana go? She's not here. And then she goes, oh, the baby's changing. He no longer cares about where his wife was just beamed off to. Yeah. Like, I was like, wouldn't you be freaking out that she just, like, that place blew up, right? And they just got saved from it by being beamed out, and the wife is not there. You would be freaking out. But instead, he starts talking about the alien. And so I thought that didn't really fit with me. And I thought it was a little bit forced dialogue when they kept saying, something, join the team.
Oh.
The team, join the team.
Yeah.
With Supergirl, like, they actually did it twice. And I thought, we already know you guys are a team. And in fact, it makes it worse that you're specifically saying, we're a team, they're a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't love that. And let's see, what else?
And we had that big twist at the end with Hawkman going off to be blown up.
Yeah,
a la
I like
Batman.
That. I like that
Dark
too.
Knight Rises.
Yeah, and I also like that they just call a Green Arrow, kind of like the show.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah.
And
What'd you
that's
give
it. I gave it a 3/maybe 4.
I gave it a 3.
Oh,
solid.
Well, maybe
3.
I should give it a 4 then.
You should
if I
probably
liked
give it a
it
4.
more
You
than
liked
you.
it more than I did. All right, next up is The Life After #1 by Joshua Hale Fialkov and Gabo. I wish my name was just Gabo.
Gabo.
What do you think of this book?
You know, like I said, we've been talking about life after death so much in our recent blog. You should check it out. Jaysen Headley writes and KCRR lives.
Yeah, we'll put
at
links.
WordPress.com, both. We wrote about life after death. Life after death, and it just made me think of that stuff. It made me think of the own thing. I did a story concept for it, and made me think of that. And the whole premise is, I don't know. I kind of liked how they delivered it, but I don't know. It still wasn't super, super strong for me.
Yeah. For me, I actually really liked this book. I love that there's so many questions I want to know more about. I want to know, what is the world that he escaped from in the first place? I mean, we know he goes to purgatory, but I love how they mention, like, someone hasn't escaped for 2,000 years. So you're like, oh, so Jesus is going to be part of this idea.
Jesus?
Yeah, that Jesus escaped that world and, like, resurrected sort of thing.
He was
like,
in purgatory?
No, that's what I'm thinking happened. I think that's who they're referring to as, like, someone who escaped real
I totally
life.
didn't think that.
Oh, totally. That's
because
totally
Jesus
what
was not in purgatory. You know, you kill yourself because they're saying it's based on suicide. You kill yourself and then you go to purgatory and you relive over and over and over and over and over.
Right, but
again.
from where he escaped from, I don't think was purgatory. Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I like the artwork. There was a lot of really cool paneling in this book, which I think is very rare in a lot of books to do really cool things with panels. Yeah, I really liked it. I gave it a 4.
I know why it kind of didn't completely sell for me. It's because reading it, I just kept thinking of all these other movies that had something to do with something that reminded me of, which was like Adjustment Bureau. You know what I mean? It reminded me too much of that type of movie, and that type of movie has been done a lot, that idea. And so that's why it didn't completely sell me. The whole, like, we're controlling people's lives, like Dark City, or, you know, any of those things. Right. It reminded me way too much of that stuff. Okay, fine, it's Purgatory, which is fine, and I gave it a 3, which is still pretty decent, you know?
Yeah. All right. Next up is Lumberjanes, #4. What can I say? I freaking love this book. It's very similar, I've said this every time we've reviewed this, but very similar to Adventure Time, very kid-friendly, very family-friendly. It is very, it's very good in that it has a lot of good values for both boys and girls, even though it's a full cast of girls. Although this week we met the Boy Scout version of the Lumberjanes, and they have a leader who can turn them into a bunch of, like, rabid animals that then attack the girls, but their weakness is that they're super clean and tidy, so the way that they get away is, like, make things dirty, so then the boys have to clean it up before they can keep going. Just really hilariously funny. There are they're like Sasquatches with little mustaches. It's great. Your kids will love it, you'll love it, it's really funny. I gave this another 5.
Oh,
this book is so wonderful for me.
I know my kids would love it.
Oh.
MPH #1. This is old, obviously.
Yeah.
finally picked it up because we're like, what the hell, pick it up. I mean, I feel like the resistance to picking it up originally is just another Mark Millar book, okay? And then you look through it and like, oh, I don't know, whatever, right? You know, we're getting over it. But then I picked it up, and I'm really glad I picked it up. I actually thought the storytelling was really solid and very, very interesting. It didn't bore me or wonder, like, or it didn't feel super predictable to me, and that's what I would have been afraid of.
Yeah.
And I actually really liked it a lot. I'm glad I got it.
Look, Mark Millar, you can write a book without cursing every other sentence or having blood or boobs on every page. I'm really proud of you that you finally figured that out in your old age. So this was good. Keep this up, and I won't have to hate you all the time. That's honestly the reason I don't want to read it. I really dislike that Mark Millar really relies on overly sexualized, over cursing, over bloody, over gory, like, just tell a story.
Sensationalism?
And the sensationalism. And that's what he did here, and this was fantastic. I gave this a 5. So look, you don't have to, if you just try really hard not to be yourself, you'll write a good book. Man.
I gave it a 5 as well. That means it's pretty freaking
That's
good.
the most backhanded good review I've ever given, by the way.
Rise of the Magi. Damn, I shouldn't have screamed like that. It's too loud. Number 2.
Number 2. What'd you think?
This just looks wrong. There's this guy riding a horse, man. Like, it's not a horse. It's a man with a horse head. A grown man is riding on top of his shoulder seriously. And it kind of bothers me. It just seems wrong. How would you like if I strapped on top of you and started being like, go Jaysen, go! You know, like, but as a regular thing. That's a
different
the
show
norm.
So here's the thing about Rise of Magic for me. This is like this book is like a Katy Perry song. It's hot then it's cold. It's yes then it's no. There are times where I love this book and I think it's really fun and really creative. And there are times where like the artwork gets sloppy and the storytelling gets sloppy and I'm like, what the hell is going on for like 2 or 3 pages? And then it picks up again and it feels so tight. And so I don't really know what's going on. Maybe he writes in the morning. When he writes in the morning, it's really good, and then when he writes at night, it's really bad. I don't know.
Well, he doesn't normally write a whole book by himself or at all, so this is a good start for him.
It's enough that I would keep reading at least another issue because I am really interested in the story and I like what they're telling here. But you know, there are definitely misses and there are definitely really strong parts of the book.
I think it's interesting. I don't know if I love, but I can appreciate that they do these 3-page recaps. Here's 2 pages of everything that's just happened. I really did like plus, that a lot. This is the overcap of the world, of the universe.
Great.
You know, of the premise.
I really like that too.
Like, okay, that's great. I think it's really cool and fun for this whole world building thing, and the stakes are like the whole universe is gonna end. Basically, it's a little bit, almost felt a little bit too epic for some reason. I don't know why. That doesn't have to be the case, but it's part of it feels a little bit too epic, end of the world type of thing for me. But
what'd you give it?
It's okay. 2.
I gave it a 3.
2.5.
Oh, okay.
I gave it 2/3.
All right, Sherwood, number 1. What'd you think?
Sherwood, Texas, number 1. I don't know. For me, it felt like kind of like a bad TV show premise, you know. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, really? They just named every single town, all the people after, like, characters from Robin Hood, and this guy's name is Rob Hood. Yeah. And, you know, part of me was just kind of hemming and hawing about it, and, like, but otherwise, I kind of like the character interactions. The art is actually decent, and the story isn't bad. You know, actually, it's not super predictable, I think, and then you question whether or not there's a supernatural element to it near the end, which I thought was super interesting that I did not anticipate. Yeah, it could have just been a dream too, but like I kind of like the characters, but it's just all that the names and it just kind of.
I thought this was hella boring. There was nothing exciting about this book. I've seen everything in here before in Robin Hood. So if you're going to try and retell a story, maybe retell a story. It's just a thought.
Is that how Robin Hood goes?
It's pretty close. But yeah, really boring, uninspired artwork, uninspired storytelling. For $1, I gave it a 1 star.
Oh, right, $1.
1 star for $1.
I give it 2 stars.
All right. Next up.
Yeah!
Oh.
Shut her!
Shut her. What
Number
number is this? 4. Why is it so tiny? Number 4. All right, number 4, Shutter. What'd you think?
I loved it.
I loved it too.
I couldn't remember a single thing that happened before it, but I was still on board.
Yeah.
I was still on board, but then I, started remembering again, but I was still on board even though I was like, huh? What? That's just me. I'm sorry. And I love these little flashbacks of
the intros.
Characters
yeah,
in the
those are great.
It's so yummy.
Yeah.
They're really yummy. And it's getting more and more interesting and actually more easy to follow. I mean, there's
the storytelling's getting a lot stronger.
That I realized, and not that I realized it just now, but reading it now and having forgotten what happened before.
Yeah, really liked it. What'd you give it?
I gave Shutter 4 to 5 stars.
I gave it a 4 as well. Really solid. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with next month.
I keep doing 4 slashes. What am I gonna end up putting on the screen?
Slashes.
Damn it.
All right, Spider-Man 2099.
Number 1.
Number 1. What'd you think?
Why do I gotta tell you?
I'll tell you what I thought. I almost didn't want to finish reading it because there's just nothing special.
You never finished reading it?
I did finish reading it. I mean, there were parts of it that were cool. There's just not enough here for me. I definitely won't be reading the second issue.
Really?
I didn't care. I didn't care at all.
Oh, well, I liked the original 2099 universe, and I really liked the Spider-Man one, and I think the art in here is awesome. The art in here is so great. It's so good. So good. So good. And it's just enjoyable enough for me to want to continue, and because I like Peter David, and so knowing that and seeing his quirkiness, seeing his, his stuff, I'm thinking, it could be fun to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I am at least on board for at least one more issue, unless it kind of really craps out by the second issue. I gave it 3 to 4 stars.
I gave it 2 stars. All right, next up, Spread.
What? Just kidding. Okay. Spread number 1 by Justin Jordan and Kyle Strahm.
Wow.
I'm killing people's names.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
This was a great surprise for me this week. And I will say that every so often, a comic book does something where I turn the page and I get goosebumps because of something that happens on the page. And it's so rare, but this book did it. There's a certain page in this book where I turn the page and goosebumps because of how awesome it was. I really like this book. It was dark and twisted and really gory, which usually I'm not super on board with because I'm like, ugh, just like Mark Millar, tell a story, don't be just graphic for the sake of being graphic. But the graphicness of it was really great because kind of saga-esque. We have the story being told from a baby's point of view before the baby has grown up. And that worked really well for me in contrast to, that innocence, in contrast to this crazily violent world, worked really well for me. I like the main character, No. I think he's just, what a fun character. I can't wait to get to know him a little bit more. So yeah, what'd you think?
I thought the art was great, and the baby's super creepy.
Yeah.
It was like, it looks like it's possessed, or I don't know, it's just freaking crazy looking baby. But yeah, the character's just badass and cool. Like, some of these are very, archetypal, like, badass tropes in a way, and so it's very simple. It's not very complicated.
It was a very simple book,
but it makes it easy and fun and somewhat familiar, and actually it's good, and you're not like, I've seen this already, and you might have, but the thing is, the art looks different. I think the art is great, and there's big, gory monsters, not just big, but gory and big gory monsters.
Really freaky monsters.
Yeah,
it's great.
And that's great. And then, like I said, it's very simple, and it's fun, and it's in a winter post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
A little bit Lone Wolf and Cubbish, and in this crazy, bloody ass
This,
world.
by the way, is the page. This is the page that made me go like, ooh. So what'd you give it?
I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 5.
Oh my god!
I loved it. It was great.
Great. Great books this week.
Really.
There's like at least 3 or 4 5-star books this
really
week.
strong. But one of those 5 stars for me is not the new Suicide Squad number 1.
No! Booty butt. Bing bang, bing bang, booty butt.
What'd you think? You get to
I love the art. Jeremy Roberts, I love his stuff. I think he's like coming out of the Jim Lee School of Art. It's very Jim Lee / J. Scott Campbell-esque. So it's slick and it's tight. It looks good. The story is okay. There isn't much that's really selling me or grabbing me. I don't know why Joker's daughter's in there. She's a joke. I don't know why she's such a threat. Let me throw this girl who has some crazy guy's face on her face and maybe make her go on missions. What? Like you can even trust her to do anything, right? I mean, okay, fine. Do they have a bomb on her too? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know where this is gonna go, but I'll try out issue 2. I like the art.
Yeah.
I just don't know where they're going with this.
I'm going to throw this out to all the B-rate comic writers out there who are doing side stories like Ravagers and Suicide Squad. An entire issue with a fight scene that has nothing to do with anything we know about or care about is not telling a story. It's just you not knowing how to write.
What are you talking about? What fight?
The whole, them, going in and blowing that place up.
They're on a mission.
Nobody cares, because you didn't tell us why we should care.
Because the Russian government they have something going on. They want to figure out what it is, and we want to stop them, so we're gonna blow their shit up.
I don't care. Well, what'd you give this?
I said it's fun, 3 stars.
I gave this a 1, and that's just barely.
It's closer to 2 now. Now that you made me think about it some more.
Just barely a 1. I mean, I guess the artwork is great.
I gave the art itself 2. That's why it's a 3.
know for a fact, I don't like J. Scott Campbell very much, his artwork. So, and this is very much in that vein. So anyway, that is our poll for the week.
Late Cambrian.
Yeah. So. First of all, make sure you check out Late Cambrian's
Walk
Kickstarter.
Of Shame.
That was Walk of Shame we listened to at the beginning, but they're putting together a whole new album, and you should definitely contribute to
tour,
that.
Contribute,
absolutely.
Get some stuff, listen to them.
Yeah,
buy on iTunes.
Right. If you want to hear more from Carl and I throughout the week, you can follow our blogs.
That's
we'll put
right.
links at them. Mine is
that.
Jaysen Headley Jason Headley writes .wordpress.com.
I'll put it right over here.
And yours
is? This is kcrrlives.wordpress.com right here.
So check those out. If there's anything we should be reading, or you disagree with us, or you think Suicide Squad was the best book ever, you probably don't. But if you do, let us know in the comments. We'd love to argue with you.
But definitely some great books this week.
Definitely
you have a book of the week.
I do. I'm going to give it to Death's Vigil, because, man, that book blew my mind.
Yeah. I mean, yes, definitely Death's Vigil. But we had so many 5s.
We did. But Death Vigil for me...
Death Vigil is definitely...
Lumberjanes was a 5 for me, and I also gave Spread a 5.
MPH.
An MPH,
definitely... Death Vigil, though,
yeah.
over MPH. Even though MPH is pretty tight, but Death Vigil is just, tight and loose and kind of squeaky. But squeaky good.
Yeah.
Can squeaky ever be good? I just meant to say it's more than just tight, okay?
Yeah. But anyway, great books this week. We will see you guys next week.